Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to play a game I found on itch.io. Invite me in. I think it's a horror game, so... Okay, This is a horror game demo that contains content made to reduce fear. It's not recommended for those easily disturbed. If needed, please read the contact warnings before continuing. Let's read it. This game contains yandere behavior, stalking, manipulation, harassment, and violent tendencies, self-harm, blood, violence, suggestive themes, sudden tone shifts, and other material made to induce fear. If you are sensitive to any of those materials, please reconsider playing. What's your name? Digital Wave. As the sun finally sets, the lengthening shadows all begin to bleed together until everything is covered in darkness. My path is only illuminated by the occasional streetlight, and I start to become nervous again, like something bad's about to happen if not treated with caution. I start picking up my pace, and I get closer to home. I didn't plan to be out for so long, especially not at night all by myself. The grocery store bag clenched tightly to my hands seemed much heavier, even though it only carries the sole jug of milk that I desperately needed before leaving the house earlier. Well, depends on the jug. If it's the gallon, that's heavy. Now I wonder if it was really worth the trip. Turning the corner just leads to another dark road. I debate whether I should slow down to prevent tripping or just break out into a run here and now. It's just a couple more blocks, then I'll be back at home. For some reason, nagging at the back of my mind, they didn't feel like an appealing situation either. If something dangerous really was just out of view, going back to an empty house was just like throwing a blanket over your head to keep the monsters away. It's moments like this I wish I didn't live alone. But I probably just obnoxious for some reason. I don't have any evidence that someone is really trying to hurt me. Just these paranoid feelings in the back of my mind that I should ignore. I really have to stop trying to freak myself out. All it is doing is causing me to lose sleep, which makes me more on edge. Focusing on getting home is the only thing I need to worry about for now. Then I can eat dinner, chill out, and finally get some much needed rest. You could have also not gone to get the milk until the morning, too. Just as I was about to turn down the street, I find a figure sitting next to the sidewalk a few feet in front of me. I immediately stop walking and try to get a better look before getting any closer. I hear the blood start to pulse faster in my ears. They're almost fully hidden from view, so I didn't have much of a chance to see them from further away. They are perfectly still. I feel the fear rising in me again. I stay frozen in the same spot, my muscles tense, waiting to see if the stranger makes a move. They do nothing, and since it's dark, I can't even tell if they're see me or not. I have to go and turn around like I think it's a tree. A couple of times, though because my brain literally makes a tree look like a human sometimes. Though I keep thinking the feeling they are staring right at me. It's terrifying. I can't just stand here forever. I want to go home. Swallowing the lines, lingering morbid thoughts, and stirring up some bravery, I began to walk it again until only a couple of feet away from the stranger. Once I'm closer, I finally make out one of the vague details of their face. his face, and we make eye contact. I flinch back a bit after seeing him look at me, but then I start to know something strange. He's curled up in the grass, clenching his arm tightly in his body, and I begin to hear his heavy, uneven breaths over my own. He's hurt badly. As soon as I see the state he's in, I'm not only more worried than before, but now also heavily concerned for his well-being. Hello, can you hear me all right? Are you okay? What happened? For a moment, he just keeps looking at me. His motion is unreadable. This far from any light source, he must feel scared too. He doesn't respond. At this point, I feel he may be really injured. Maybe he can't even understand me. As I reach into my pocket to call for help, he finally speaks up. Something happened to me earlier. I'm just trying to walk home, and I'm a bit hurt right now. A bit hurt? He doesn't look like he's doing well at all. He leans forward and begins to push up against his arm, like he's trying to stand up, and he's quickly wincing, sits back down in his original position. It hurts. My arm really hurts. My legs are okay, though. How did you hurt your arm? Is it being broken? Broken? I didn't break anything. He shows up uncomfortably on the ground, trying to move his body a little more upright position. He looks at me a bit nervous. It's easier to see his face like this. I'm gonna go for the, he's cute right now. I noticed it before, but this guy has such a nice wavy hair and pretty eyes. I feel kind of bad focusing on that, but the realization truly caught me off guard. My eyes shift away from the focus on anything else. I shouldn't be thinking about this and instead trying to find out how to help him. I must seem so rude right now. Please don't think I'm acting weird. Is everything alright? Oh god, he thinks I'm acting weird. Everything's totally fine. I'm just a bit squeamish about broken bones is all. You don't have to worry. My arm isn't broken, just a bit hurt. Okay, I'm glad it's not that bad then. You should really be more careful. Getting injured on the side of the road this late is really dangerous. You're right. I'm really glad you're the one who came along. It seems like I had nothing to worry about earlier. To think I was scared of him. I thought I was going to end up being mugged or murdered, but it ended up being a total overreaction. Well, we don't know about that yet. And now I'm having a normal conversation with a stranger sitting in the grass. Well, that isn't too normal. But I still don't really know anything about him. He still seems pretty worried, too. I would really like to know more about him, too. I should try to calm him down a bit more so I can help him better. He isn't going to tell me anything like this. What's your name? My name, it's Devon. He really seems like really shy about it. I feel kind of bad to ask him now. That's a really nice name. It suits you. There's no way. I think your name is much nicer. Wait, what? How did you know my name? I didn't tell you yet. Oh, you didn't know? I'm sorry, It must be a thought I must have thought you said it already, and it slipped my mind. I feel a bit embarrassed. I hope you don't think I'm insincere now that I'm complicated something I didn't even know. But your name is nice. That's all. I was trying to say, sorry to confuse you. Oh, he's totally stalking me. Let's go invite him in the house anyway. It's fine. Just a bit off guard. So what's your name? I feel a bit hesitant to tell him now, but I really shouldn't fault him for any honest mistake. It's Digital Wave. Digital Wave, it's a nice name. Just like I guessed. It's a YouTube name. Devin's more focused on his sunburner than his he's in, which is a bright side. It seems like the conversation helped a bit, even if something awkward. He looks off to the side, trying to distract himself, trying to, talking to a stranger like me seems to make him pretty nervous. As a sort of and not a sort of anxious reflex, he begins to mess with the sleeve of his sweater. He's just ends up wincing in pain after pulling on them too hard. Seeing someone someone be miserable like this, I can't stop myself from asking him about it. It's one more time. Does your arm still hurt to move? Yeah. Devin tries to move his arm again. Then he gives up quickly. He pulls them back into his lap in a comforting position. Will he be able to make it back somewhere safe soon? It's horrible. His arm hurts too much to even make it home. I feel the best way to just hurry up the interaction is to help him out quickly, then head on home. And the more he sits there in the dark, the more feeling of pity began to surface. Talking to him has been a bit weird, but I can't help but growing feeling of concern for some reason. I feel bad for just leaving you here like this. I'm not gonna leave you. I'm gonna invite you home. I'm gonna be a dumb. Here, let me help you walk a bit closer to your house. You shouldn't have to sit here in the dark. My house is a bit walk away. I should be fine. I feel better already after talking to you. It seems like I've been a bit too worried after all. At least let me walk you to the bench nearby to rest. It's better for you to just sit on the ground. You help me think that's... it's really appreciated that. I just need some help staying up. Then I'll be okay to move on my own. Helping him out seemed like an easy enough offer, but actually finding a good way to lift him up gracefully was a harder task than I guessed. Setting down my grocery bag of only milk on the sidewalk, I walked a bit closer to Devin. We both look at each other, trying to figure out the best way to go about this. I want to lift him up without hurting him or making him uncomfortable. Eventually, he moves his leg until they are bent under him, almost as if kneeling position. Then I move beside him, wrapping my arms around his torso. As I increase the pressure of my hold on him, his breathing becomes even more labored and unsteady. His body becomes increasingly tense, despite how careful I try to lift him. Are you okay? I'm trying not to touch your arm too much. Let me know if anything hurts. It really doesn't hurt that bad. I barely feel it. Feeling a bit more reassured. After knowing that he's okay, I lift up one final lift until he's up on his feet. We did it. Is there anything else I could do to help? I'm here if you need any. Before I could even finish what I was about to say, Devin begins to wobble over after trying to stand on his own. I quickly reach over to hold him steady, and he ends up laying back on my arms, clutching my shoulders to keep from falling. What happened? Are you okay? Yeah, I'm okay. Are you sure? I could call someone up for you to get a ride or to a clinic if something is wrong. I think it's just my blood pressure after sitting there too long. I'm fine, honestly fine. Do you think you can try to walk on your own, or is it too much? I think I need a bit more time before walking on my own. I can just sit back down if it's not too trouble for you. I'd be lying if I said I'm not a bit tempted to take him up on the offer. But a small sense of guilt stops me from being back on my promise to help him. It's not too much trouble at all. If you're okay with it, you can wing on me for a while while we walk to the bench. I don't know how much you feel like moving right now. If you have your support, if I have your support, I'll be okay to move. Okay, I'll try to walk slowly and not to put too much strain on you again. We move on the sidewalk position where his arms is over my shoulders as I wrap my arm around his back. The walk continues a steady pace as we get halfway down the street. I feel Devin's breathing as he pushes against me for stability. It seems to still be quick and heavy. His body also feels cold and damp. How long had he been there by himself? Is he really okay? I look over to glance at Devin's face, which is completely pale, with a small smile creeping into his lips. The image almost frying with the state he's in. Like he doesn't even know how bad his condition is. No, like he doesn't even care. He noticed me staring, and his unreadable gaze meets mine in an instant. It feels he can read even every thought and intention running through my mind. Suddenly his eyes soften, and his grin turns more friendly, but the off-putting paleness is still there. You really are too kind to me. You even helped me walk. For a second, I feel I can't move. I can hardly breathe while looking at him directly. As I said, no trouble. I have to focus myself to turn away from him and continue to focus on walking. I can feel him but I can still feel him right next to me as my heart hammers faster in my chest. I pray he doesn't notice. Maybe I'm just imagining it. Maybe it's because we met in such a weird situation, but he looks at me differently than anyone else I've ever met. And I wonder if it's really such a bad thing. I strengthen my resolve and begin to push forward again. We finally made our way to the end of the street and turn to the next car. The bench is just a few feet away. Here we are. You should be able to rest right over here, right there. I pull him over until he's able to safely sit down on his own. He seems a bit shaken up still, but he's much better off on a clean bench near a streetlight than the ground on the dark. Thank you for taking me all the way here. It was considerate of you. Even though Devin says that, he doesn't seem relieved at all. I feel a bit guilty eating it like this, but just how much more should I really do? Hell, he doesn't even want me to do it this much. I'm glad I could help. I really hope you feel better soon. It was nice to meet you, Devin. Just as about to walk away, his hand suddenly grabs mine. Do you need anything else? Devin, are you right? Emily turned around and held his hand in my own while trying to be gentle with his arms. What do you need? Did you change your mind about calling for some help or going to the doctor? I don't want you to have to suffer alone. I don't mind waiting here with you. Devin looked at me with wide eyes, like he wasn't expecting this at all. As I began to sit down on the bench next to him, I finally pulled his hand away and stopped me. He finally pulls his hand away and stopped me. No, I didn't change my mind. Thank you, though. I just wanted to let you know. That you left your milk behind earlier when helping me, and you probably don't want to forget that. My milk, that's right. I totally forgot. I guess I got so distracted helping you, I almost didn't remember to go back for it. Thank you for reminding me, Devin. What would I have done without you? The Quaker becomes frustrated again and shakes his head a bit. You didn't Didn't you say I'm the reason you got distracted in the first place? Maybe so, but it wasn't like you did that on purpose. I'll still say you're pretty helpful. Devin looks off to the side a bit embarrassed. I'm going to go grab the milk now. But let me know if you need anything else. I'll be here. I'll have to walk by here to get home anyway. I'll see you in a minute. Yeah, I'll see you in a minute then. I give a small wave and start to jog back to the corner we just came from. I make a turn and begin walking back towards the previous road where I left my milk. I really am glad that Devin said something because I would have felt ridiculous once I got home. It was the only reason I came out here and went through the wild Indian after all. It only takes me a few seconds to find my woolly bag sitting on the sidewalk. The time makes me realize just how slow we were walking before. This distance that felt like it took ages to traverse was getting really short jog. I quickly glanced over the milk to make sure it was still good condition, and then the jug looks perfectly fine. It was only out here by itself for a minute, but better to check the drink bad milk. I scoop up the bag in my arms and start heading back. I should really say goodbye to Devin before heading home and check on him one last time. I run back to the bench and see him standing there, just as I left him. And something feels a bit off. He seems like just as unwell as ever. In fact, he doesn't even look at me now. Is he ready for me to just leave him now? Or does he even know I'm here? I step back a step a bit closer, so I'm right in front of him, and try to duck down to get one last look at his face. Well, I got my milk, so I guess I'll be heading back home now. As I said before, it's nice to meet you, Devin. Meet you. Get home safe, alright? Just as I was about to leave, I noticed the dark strands forming all over his sleeve, on the rest of his clothes. They were small enough that they could be mistaken for shadows, especially in the dim light, but now it seems much more obvious. Is that blood? Now that it's possible to notice, the panic hit me like an anvil as I noticed my heart drop. I looked down at the arm I had used to help support his body when we walked over here. There was a smudge of crimson sticking across my hand that I didn't even notice earlier. He was bleeding. He had bled so much. It didn't seem possible. How did I not notice how bad it was? There was blood dripping down his hands now. Did I make it worse? Did I hurt him while carrying him here? No, I didn't mean to hurt him. Will he be alright? I looked at Devin's shoulder and looked at his face. He seems hazy, like he might pass out soon. I need to get to the hospital immediately. You need to get to the hospital immediately. I'll call for an ambulance. Why didn't you tell me you were bleeding that much? What happened to you? It's just a little bit of blood. A bit of blood? This seems like much more than that, just little. Is it really that bad? Are you worried about me? Yes. Now just show me how you got injured. I got closer and tried to reach out to grab his hand. Slowly, Devin moves up from the bench and stands in front of me. Just wave. Please listen to me. I need help, but Devin seems to inhale deeply, like he's trying to rise out the courage and willpower that he has. I watch as he rushes over to help. I want to rush over to help him and sit back down safely, but froze in place. I just examine his face, waiting for a signal to grab and steady him again. His eyes glance at mine, shifting from it, assessing to pleading, like he really needs to say something. He still seems physically weak, but it's almost like he's even more energized now. Like something in the past few seconds totally reinvented his conviction. Both wait, and he finally gets his bearings. Will you please hear me out? Hesitate a bit, but my curiosity and suspicion makes me want to hear why he's been acting so strange this whole time. Maybe he really does have a good reason. I can't deny he really needs help. Yeah, I'll listen. Devin steps a bit more into the light and raises his hands halfway into the air. It's like he's trying to reveal his injury without moving his sleeves, like he's trying to shield me from how bad it is. But all I see is more blood. He seems to. Okay, but all I see is more blood, and he seems to sense my concern. I didn't want to worry you too much, but it seems the state I'm in looks quite bad. To be honest, it hurts really bad too. He grumps as he looks down at his arms. Maybe he didn't even let me himself think of how painful it was before. I didn't want you to know. My arms are much worse than I let on. Then why didn't you let me call for help? Someone did this to me. They were trying to hurt me. Someone hurt you? Who? Devin looked at me like with a pained expression, and he stares at his arms again, looking at his strains. Look at the stains forming along his sleeves. You stalker. You stalker? What are you? Are you being serious right now? I feel my blood begin to run cold. Out of all things, a stalker. It's true. I didn't really know what was happening until it was too late. Next thing I know, I'm on the side of the street and bleeding. My arms hurt so much, but couldn't move. I'm afraid I was going to be found again and killed. But then you found me instead, and I felt safe. I hope you understand. But I really can't go to the hospital like this. I can't tell my tracker would know that where I would. I could tell that my attacker would know that where I'll need to go and that they'll try to find me there. So I'm not too afraid, and the thought of it happening was about to argue with Devin. But seeing the fear in his eyes and the way his body is shaking, I don't have the heart to disagree. It's okay, Devin, I understand. You're not going to call for help, right? No, not if you don't want me to. But we can't call. Why can't we call the police? You might be in real danger. Police? I don't think that'll be a good idea. It makes me too nervous. Plus, I don't even think they would take me seriously after not believing me before. I'm looking at the blood continuing to drip from his hands. I feel it hard to not take Devin seriously at this point. At this moment. But if he feels so concerned about it, I shouldn't doubt him about this either. Like I need to drink water again. There has to be some solution, right? He can't just deal with this by himself and risk being hurt even more. I want him to be alright, be able to get help. His wife could be at risk, and I don't think I could go home only to see him on the news tomorrow. Then what are you? Then what are we supposed to do? You can't keep walking around like that. I just need some place safe. I really don't think I could just be home. I just don't think I can be home alone while someone is after me. Then it'll be then if there were some basic medical supplies, I could make it work. I patched myself up much worse. I feel like in a good situation, but my body is racing too much to think of an alter of myself. I may end up regretting this later, but one thing know for sure, I can't leave him like this. I may be terrified, but there's nothing compared to what Devon's going through at this moment. I've been on the edge the past few weeks with the thought that someone had been watching me, but he's been living it. I feel a bit silly trying to relate. He's probably your stalker. He's probably did this to get to you. But I don't know about this one, man. I can't help but feel a sense of connection, though. Like it was fate that I happened to be the one to help him. If anyone would know what it's like to live with the fear and look at how it can affect you, it would be him. And I want someone to do the same for me if I ever was in such a dangerous situation. As I've been going through my reasoning in my mind, Devon had been staring at me with a hopeful expression. If you need someplace to go, you could come to my house. Really? I can come to your house? I have a first aid kit I bought recently. I'm not sure how helpful it'll be, but it'll be better than nothing. Yeah, that'll work fine. I'm just sorry. I can't believe you're really helping me. I can't believe you're really helping me. I'm not going to leave you out here alone, or just hand you off to some people you don't feel safe with. I really do want to help you, Devon. As I find myself really meaning those words, we stare at Chair for a moment, assessing the bizarre situation that's been laid out quickly in front of us. But the look in his face, he seems so happy. Ecstatic even. It just shows that I definitely made the correct choice, right? Or did I even have a choice to help someone in such a peril? It doesn't feel like I did at all. I'm trying to push away my feelings of uncertainty and move on to the next objective. So we shouldn't stay out here too long, right? Isn't that kind of dangerous? Yes, you're right. We should leave right now. Devon's head rips around to survey this area. He seems quickly satisfied. I think we're safe, but it's best to be careful and hurry along. Alright, let's go then. And instinctively walk over to Devon and lean against him, moving my arm across his back again. Digital Wave, what are you doing? You still need help to walk, don't you? After all this, I can't have you falling over me. Of course, I know I forgot. It just surprised me. I can't help but smile at how frustrated he still gets at this point, even with how horrible his night has gone. Even though we just met, Devon seemed to enjoy being around me. I'm happy to think I could make it what must be one of the worst days ever a bit wider. Devon moves against my arm, and we begin to walk together again. Maybe it's from doing it before, but it feels much easier this time. My house is just a few buildings down, so you don't have to wait too long. Alright then. You can just stay with me for the night and call whoever you need in the morning. This is really kind of you. I don't deserve it, but at the same time, I can't reject the offer. Don't feel bad for it. I really want to help you. I am. Is there a reason why you want to help me? Or are you just the type of person who would help anyone? Devin's face looked a bit upset when he said this. Does he think I have weird motivations? Moves? I'm not really sure. I just think I were in your shoes, I would want to help someone to look at for me like this. I bet there's someone who would do anything for you. The strange compliment makes my heart thump quickly in my chest. I try to ignore it, but it's soon all I hear. It makes me feel a bit happy in some way. I get frustrated myself. To distract myself from the noise in my head, I look out into the darkness, trying to search for any stalking figures to make sure we weren't being followed. And there doesn't seem to be any another soul in sight. For the past few weeks, I constantly been seeing moving shadows and feeling eyes on my back of my head. But for the first time in a while, I don't feel anything at all. I feel safer. Because the stalker's with you. And as I finally see the front of my house in view, I think the rest of this wild night is going to actually be okay. You have reached the end of the demo. Okay, so if you want my content, please subscribe at the video, help out, and comment down below. And I'll see you guys next time. Thank you, Digimon, for buying me in. Continue the game and see how the rest of the night. Well, it's later this year. I don't think it actually happened. The hearts give you an indication of the path we were on. Okay, if you want my content, subscribe, like the video, help out, and comment down below. I'll see you guys next time.